Hey, what's up guys? It's Pedro here from noobcoder.com, and in this tutorial we're going to be talking about objects. Now all an object is a collection of properties. These properties being the keys that allows you access to the value that property holds. So to give an example of an object, we can say people are objects. A person is an object. And chances are, if you're a person, you probably have properties, right? So you have a first name, and you probably have a last name. And let's give one more property just for the sake of it. Let's just say age. So these are all properties that this person object has. Now, wouldn't it be nice if we could put all these properties within one place, within one object? Well, you can. So let's create a person object. I'm going to say var Pedro. This person is going to be Pedro. And we're going to assign it curly braces. Now, these curly braces represent an object literal. So right now I am assigning Pedro basically an object with nothing in it. So how do I give this object properties? Well, Pedro probably has a first name, so we could give it a property of a first name. And we could give that property the value of Pedro. Now keep in mind that we are using colon. We are not using the assignment operator within our object. So just put back the colon. And now if I want to give Pedro another property, I could use a comma. And then I could say last name, colon, then I could say Mercado. And then comma again. And then I could say age has the value of 5. So now this object has 3 properties. First name, last name, and age. So now let's actually print this object onto the console. So I'm just going to say console.log Pedro. And then with semicolon, Control S to save, Control B, right click, Reveal in Explorer, double click, F12. And now you can see that we have our custom object, our person object. So let's just click here. And now this object has the properties age, first name, and last name. And now let's head back to our editor. So I'm just going to hit Control B. And now I want to talk about keys and values. Now, keys are the property names that your object has. So for example, a key in the object Pedro is first name. Now, what this key allows me to do is access the value it has. So, to give you an example, let's say I was to type Pedro dot first name. Now, what's actually happening is the dot operator is allowing me to access what's inside of this object. So, first name should give me the value of Pedro. So, if I print that out onto the console, and then with a semicolon, Control S to save, head over to Chrome, hit refresh. You can see that when I say Pedro.firstname, it gives me the value that's within that property. And likewise, if I go back to my editor and copy this 2 more times, change this to last name, change this to age, Control S to save, head over to Chrome, hit refresh, you can see that we get the values of Pedro, Mercado, and 5. But we can also change the values within these properties. So if I head over to my editor again, and let's say that for whatever reason I want to change my first name to Bob. So what I could do is, the same way I accessed the property first name, I can say Pedro.firstname, and then I could assign it a value, and let's call it Bob. And then with a semicolon, Control S to save, head back to Chrome, hit refresh, and now you can see that the object's first name has now been changed to Bob.